You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Once Upon a Time After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Once Upon a Time After Show.
Hello, Oncers. Bing is for doing, and we are doing another Once Upon a Time After Show right here, right now on AFTERBuzzTV.com. Season 2, Episode 15, The Queen is Dead. I'm your host, Cathy Kelley, and joining me is...
Hey everyone, I'm Tiona Hobson.
Hi everyone, I'm Marisa Serafini.
And we have a lot of news and gossip for you guys today because Tiona and Marisa got to go to PaleyFest. Those jerks went without me. No,
I'm still geeking out over the whole
I know,
experience.
we're both still reeling over here.
Yes, so they got to see pretty much the entire cast and then a lot of showrunners who were all at the event. They got to watch the episode before anyone else got to watch the episode. And they got a lot of spoilers, which we might reveal some later in the episode. So just keep an eye out for those. If you don't want to hear them, make sure to tune out. We won't do any during our recap, though.
No.
So
you're going to remain unbiased.
I want to hear these, though, because they won't tell me anything. So they're saving it for our after show. You guys and I will all hear at the same time.
It's what keeps it interesting.
Yes, and then they got to see the first
act of The Miller's Daughter.
Act of next week's.
Oh my gosh! All I can say is this week was intense and awesome, and next week is going to be even more awesome.
And we saw at the very end that someone might die. Someone will perish, is what they said.
Perish.
Ooh. Save that for predictions.
Yes.
All right.
But okay, let's get started with, we got a lot more of young Snow's backstory and her mom, which is, this is the first time where we were really introduced to her character. And we realized that young Snow is kind of a little royal biatch.
That shocked me. I don't know if I was the only one not expecting that.
I wasn't either.
When she started talking, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna laugh. She's gonna laugh. It's gonna be a joke. Watch this." And then it never happened.
Yeah,
I was shocked at that.
I mean, I guess every girl at some point in their lives when they're growing up are kind of bratty, and I just didn't expect Snow to be, because we've seen her be very consistent in her morals in every single episode. Both seasons.
Yeah, and I like how it's her mother that set her straight. She's the one that she's the beacon of good, and that's where she gets it from her mother. So and
got it
like
from her mama.
So to have that parental guidance at such a young age is good, and that translated to her in present-day Storybrook.
And it clearly could have gone either way. She could have, when her mother did pass away, she could have easily strayed from that and, taken Regina's path.
But she, I think it's important that she, even though it was a short lesson with her mother, it was maybe a couple days old at that point, but I'm glad that she had that lesson and became, a stronger person, and that not everyone has to do evil to get their way and get ahead in life, even though towards the end of this episode we start to see other things coming up. But
so another shocker from this episode, not really related to this episode, but Bailey Madison, who plays young Snow, is like a beanstalk. She shot up so quick,
Yes.
like going
Yeah.
through puberty right now. Looks good. I mean, she's a skinny little twig, but I feel like she's grown so much in the past couple like episodes since they taped her the last time.
she was on. Yeah, it's watching her grow up, literally.
Which is funny because
great.
this is supposed to be the youngest that we've ever seen her. But
And she's still
she's
getting
like
older.
6 inches taller now.
She looked so good in all those dresses too.
my
Her
gosh.
posture was good. I was
She was
like,
working
she's
them.
working that old school Victorian type gown.
And those dresses and gowns were stunning. They were
beautiful.
amazing. The costume department needs like a round of applause.
Oh yeah, definitely. I thought it was interesting how young Snow was wearing pink, not white or black for that matter. It's pink. It's an interesting choice.
Yeah. I mean, we've said throughout, especially during this episode when we were watching it, how Snow's attire when she was younger and now in Storybrooke when she's Mary Margaret is so innocent, yet she's such a badass.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of funny. You don't
Had to keep up
expect it.
pretenses, I guess.
Yeah. So back to this episode. Snow is about to celebrate her birthday. Her mother says that she's going to give her a tiara, and we see a servant is wearing her tiara. That's when she kind of goes off and turns into a brat McBrat and tells her that servants don't wear crowns.
That about
That's
broke
low.
my. Yeah, that was low. And all I could think was because the lady who was playing Johanna this week is on Downton Abbey, and I'm a big fan of that too. And I was like, poor Mrs. Padmore. Like she's always a servant. She's never like up there with everyone else.
Yeah.
Real.
So her mother, I mean, very quickly reprimands Snow and tries to fix the situation, which is the lesson that Snow ends up learning. And we see later in the episode, which we'll talk about later in our after show, how Snow is now struggling with, good and evil and which path she should take. But it all stems from here, this moment.
This is the defining moment of
Yeah.
her choosing good to
Yes.
prevail over evil. But we'll see how long that lasts.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad it was at such a young age, because that young age is, that's when you're most impressionable and can, have an everlasting effect.
Yeah. Yeah, so Snow's mother ends up sickly on her deathbed. Looks amazing while she's dying, but
Yeah.
Yeah. She was
Just
the prettiest
coughing.
dying person ever. Even with the cough, too.
if I put a spell on someone to kill them, I would make them look really ugly too if I was that vindictive. I mean, that's just me. But yeah, she looked amazing on her deathbed. Marisa and I both laughed and said that it was tuberculosis and she was coughing up blood, but we realized now that it was poison that is what killed Snow's mother. And Snow goes on this quest to help save her mother before she passes, and she tries to find the blue fairy. Turns out, blue fairy, actually Cora, disguised. She's so good at that too.
Yeah.
Good at it.
Because we never know who she's going to turn into.
Yeah. Never speak of this again.
That was a little suspect to me when I watched it the first time.
And we know the blue fairy is such a kind person and so good-hearted. She is like the epitome of good, and it was very off to see her do that.
Give that, yeah. And I think her showing up before the wish too. Oh, I knew you needed to make a wish, so I just appeared before you did it. That was kind of a little off to me too. But I didn't put together that it wasn't her, that it was Cora until the end reveal.
It's weird how much Regina tricked young Snow. It's so many times, time after time. Like she, Cora, yeah, sorry, I always do that, and fans get so upset. Yes, Cora tricked Snow so many times. I mean, she tricked her when during this blue fairy incident, and she also tricked her when she had Snow tell Regina's secret about liking Daniel and not wanting to get married. So, very manipulative.
Yeah.
Just like Rumple.
just like Rumple. I mean, that's
Guess
where
she
she learned
learned
it
from
from.
the best.
You know, she learned from the best.
So it seems like there has to be some deeper thing with Cora and why she's so against Snow's mother, which apparently we will see some of in next episode.
I don't know. Will we, Marissa?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, it's called The Miller's Daughter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll see a
we
little.
get-
We'll see a lot more of Cora's backstory.
We've all kind of assumed that the Miller's daughter is. I mean, they've
she said
confirmed
it,
that, yeah,
At the end,
She is the Miller's daughter.
yeah.
she said that that Snow will know how she felt as the Miller's daughter.
But not just to take down, this family and make her daughter the queen, but it's to the point where she wants to destroy all of their legacy. So we know that something's up.
Something has to have happened in their past.
Yeah,
In Cora's past to do all this, yes.
yeah.
What it is,
We don't know.
we kind of know.
I hate you guys. I hate you guys so much. So this blue candle that the blue fairy, which is actually Cora, pardon me, gave young Snow a candle to save her mother potentially. Snow doesn't use it, which did she say it would have worked had Snow chosen to use it?
Yeah.
It would have saved her mother. And
And when I was watching that, I kind of thought, well, at first, I mean, because we all know that Snow's mother dies. So clearly Snow wasn't going to do whatever it was that she needed to do to save her mom. But part of me was like, oh man, she could just kill Johanna, because I'm sure Johanna like sacrificed herself or something, to save the queen.
there are a couple times when Snow should have killed Johanna this episode. I mean, she was such a nice lady, but like we knew she was gonna die. We haven't seen her yet, so
Right.
it's just like, what was that one guy earlier in the season?
Billy.
Gus.
Gus.
Yeah, we saw him very briefly for one time, and
You
then
know
he's
what, though?
gone.
I was looking on IMDb, and he's been on like a few
No, yeah,
episodes,
that's what I was
and
saying.
I never noticed him in
Yeah.
the background there.
He's been like, he hasn't, I don't know if he's had lines before, but he was in the background a lot, but we haven't seen, have we seen Joanne at all? I don't think we
No.
have.
No.
No, that was
So.
one of the things. No, we haven't
We
seen
did
her.
see Gus tow away
Yeah.
Yeah,
Red's
besides
car in
that,
season one,
I
but
don't really remember ever seeing him besides that. But I was like, 6 episodes. I have to go back and actually pay attention to what's going on.
Now you have to go back and pay attention to every single background actor that they have because they might be,
Exactly.
Ariel or
right,
something like that.
They're credited as guy number 2 walking across the road, but they're really Gus.
Yes.
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
But
fine.
going back to the candle, I thought it was interesting how they chose another candle, because the episode where, David was, he lit a candle for Henry when he was having bad dreams. Just the symbolism of candle, light going out, life. I thought
Yeah.
that was interesting. Maybe there's another reason.
Marissa's getting deep on us
Yeah.
over here.
Philosophical.
Chew.
So Snow doesn't end up saving her mother. Sad. I heard you guys said at PaleyFest that everyone cried in the room.
People were
I
getting
don't-
emotional. I was getting a little. I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
I
that's so
was
sad.
definitely crying.
Yeah.
I had tears coming down my eyes, and I was so happy it was dark, because then the people sitting next to me couldn't see that I was crying, and I was leaning forward so I could just wipe them away real quick. Like, oh man, yeah, just got something in my eye real quick.
I thought it was kind of weird because while you guys said that everyone at PaleyFest was crying during that situation, I felt like it was kind of funny. Like, not intentionally, and I feel like such a horrible person for saying that, but it was something was really off about that scene that almost made it like I had the giggles.
The second time I watched it, I kind of laughed too.
Yeah.
But the first time, I don't know if it's being in that room with everyone.
So many onceers.
I was
Oh my
reacting
goodness.
to everything in a much larger way than I
Yes.
normally
Agreed.
watch the episodes reacting
Well,
with
you
you
said
guys.
every single shocker, everyone would just go,
You
Yeah,
heard the
like
audience
the whole
reaction. You heard people applauding when Regina walked on screen. You heard people,
Yeah.
crying and oh my gosh, and
Literally a whole room full of oncers.
That's awesome.
it's pretty intense.
So this whole incident with Snow's mother dying led her to be very upset on every birthday that she's had. And this leads us back into Storybrooke, present-day Storybrooke, when it is her birthday, and she tells David that she doesn't want to celebrate, obviously brings up bad memories, and a gift just happens to come upon them. Johanna left her the tiara that her mother gave her on that birthday, and obviously that means that Johanna is somewhere in Storybrooke, even though we have not seen her once.
Which Charmy did bring up a good point of that I missed the first time, caught it the second time, that Snow had been gone because right after the curse was broken, that's when they got taken into fairy tale world, and that they just got back, and it's just been one hit after another that he said people are still trying to find people because I guess Storybrooke is a lot bigger than we think it is.
I think that's so bizarre though, because they've had 28 years and they are both. They have all their memories from those 28 years. So you would think at one point, Mary Margaret would need to go out into the country of Storybrooke and I don't know, it just seems weird that, or Johanna would have to go into town for something.
Because Johanna, I feel, would know more likely that Mary Margaret, or Snow in this case, is still alive, whereas Snow, I don't know if she had contact with Johanna before the curse hit and everything, because in the other flashbacks of Snow running from the evil queen and before she's married to David, and even while she's married to David, there's no mention of Johanna anywhere in there. So maybe she'll come back and we'll see what happened when Regina came to the castle. Maybe she kicked out Johanna because she was a reminder of the nice queen.
I honestly think that they just created the character of Johanna for this episode. They needed someone to add a bigger element to the storyline.
They tied it back really nicely, though. They put the bow on very nicely, if you will, because she was in that scene where. She wasn't in the previous episode, but she was in that scene where Snow's horse takes off, and when she ultimately meets Regina for the first time. So, they had to have thought about it before before they wrote tonight's episode.
One thing that they did talk about a lot is the prepping that they go through for each season and the storylines, and how the writers all are there in meeting in between seasons to get a definite outline of the season down before they start writing. So they're very prepared with everything that they do.
It seems a little bit more planned out than Lost, dare I say it. I loved Lost, but I got lost a lot of the time, and I think the writers did too. But I feel like they have a much better and thought out plan for Once Upon a Time, like the direction that they're going in, and that also allows you to create these twists and turns that actually make sense, not just a random polar bear in the middle of an island.
But the thing with Once Upon a Time is that they have more storylines that they can play off. They have all these different fairy tales and folk tales that they can play off with. One
thing that I thought was interesting, in the story of Snow White, we always were led to believe that she's called Snow because her skin is as pale as snow. And in this, they said that she is called Snow because she was born during a very harsh winter, and that's why her mother named her Snow.
Yeah, the harshest of winters.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting too.
Yeah.
So just a little twist.
I wonder where they'll take that. I don't know.
Will we see baby Snow?
Or Snow.
Or they mentioned the flowers that Johanna was planting, they can thrive during harsh winters too, maybe as white as the flower.
Did anyone catch the name of that flower? Because it was beautiful. And I wonder if it's real.
I was trying to hear it I didn't catch it the first time watching it, and I was trying to listen to it again the second time, and no one mentioned it.
If anyone knows the name of the flower, please let us know. You can either tweet us, we'll give out our Twitter handles at the end of the show, or write it on our YouTube. We all do look at our YouTube comments. Also, I will take a second to say, if you're not watching us live on AfterBuzzTV.com, and if you're not watching us on YouTube, then please take a minute, or if you are watching us on those two platforms, please take a minute to go over to our iTunes page, type in AfterBuzz TV. You can find our Once Upon a Time podcast, as well as we do like 50-something other shows a week. So if you're a fan of anything from Revenge to Honey Boo Boo to Suits, you can go and check out all of those other podcasts as well. And then also, while you're there, please just take 20 seconds, rate, comment on our YouTube, or on our iTunes, because we are trying to build up from last season. We do have a whole new panel of hosts in season 2, and we just want to make sure we get higher ratings because they were not so nice last season to the other hosts. So please give us a second chance if you watched last season, I guess. But yeah, and then also we will give shout outs next week to everyone who has commented.
Oh, I was like, I did print out our comments. They're in the booth. I'll have to get them.
Okay. Well, we will do it next week.
Martin, be a dear. Can you please give us the...
Oh, he's giving us a thumbs up.
Yes.
He's going to grab those for us.
Excellent.
Okay.
That's what he's here for. Thank you.
So he's bringing them to us right now.
There you go.
Our humble servant. You can wear our tiaras anytime.
5 stars for Martin.
So thank you to Court 0624, Ziva Forensic Specialist NCIS, Arwen Sinja. Sorry, I'm butchering that name. ARWENCJA. And Helix O and 7NENOO. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
They all rated us 5 stars, and we rate you 5 stars because you are awesome. And then thank you to all of the people. Oh, there's a couple more.
YouTube.
One more. No. One more on iTunes, actually. Barb the Bookworm. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who writes on our YouTube as well. You guys all have great predictions, and sometimes there are things that we can't catch that you guys at home catch. So we're gonna actually start doing like a catch of the week. If you guys find something in the episode that we don't cover, please let us know, because I feel like there are a million things. Every time we watch it back, there's always more.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
And you guys are great. I love the YouTube conversations going on there, like highlight of my weeks.
Tiana's really good at responding. I'm going to try to respond more, but I love reading all of your comments and predictions. So
Yes, and I do read everything too. It always makes me think at the end. Also, everyone else's opinions.
yeah. So let's get back into tonight's episode. We're going to talk about the storyline in Storybrook, and it starts off with Hook hitting David over the head with a, what was that, like a
crowbar?
Crowbar, yeah.
Which I actually don't think that was necessary. If Hook managed to break into the building, I don't think he needed to...
Is that what he used to break into the building, though, a crowbar?
I don't know. Like, I think if he managed to break into a building, he can manage to break into a cabinet. Or whatever, or a file
He needed the
thing.
key to get into that drawer that bad. Maybe Storybrook's one of those towns, because I feel like everyone and their mom is always at the police station before the sheriff gets there.
Yeah.
When Sheriff Graham was there, that happened. When Emma was the sheriff, like, people are just always in there. So maybe the door's unlocked to the jail or something.
They need, like, ADT to come sponsor them.
Realize the irony in that?
The iron in the crowbar. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's the same thing. If you feel like there are bad people in your town, like you check the backseat of your car, maybe you're a little more aware when you walk into work and you work at a jail.
Yes.
Just seems obvious, but maybe they're not that clever.
They're not that clever. Yeah.
They just see the good in everyone. They don't want to see the bad.
That's their problem. And speaking of Hook and YouTube, someone, I cannot remember who it was, but someone on the YouTube conversation this week brought up the fact that Cora has adjusted to life in Storybrooke and started dressing more appropriately to Storybrooke, but Hook still hasn't. So this whole episode, I was just watching a pirate walking around, and it was making me think, I was like, why hasn't he gone out and bought a pair of jeans? I mean, I like seeing him in his pirate swagger. It makes him a little nicer to look at in a bad boy way. But I don't know. It made me think.
Because girls love outfit changes.
I guess.
That
They're
is
masters
true.
of those. And I feel like, isn't Hook a lot older than Cora? If you think
Yes,
about it,
he
he's
would
like
be.
Yeah,
hundreds
he's
of years older
from
because
Neverland.
he went to Neverland and he just didn't age, which I need to go to Neverland. But
Don't we
seriously,
all?
I mean, I think that maybe he's a little bit more set in his ways
Yeah,
because he's got a couple hundred years on
He
her.
would be as old as Rumpelstiltskin.
But if you think about it, pirates aren't really known for their fashion either.
I mean, he looks good, so that's all I'll say. But yeah, so Hook steals his hook back and goes on a quest. We realize later that he heads on over to New York, which we will talk about in a bit. While this is all going on, Cora and Regina are on the hunt for the dagger that is Rumpelstiltskin's, and Snow overhears all of it when she finds Johanna,
Which for once I was happy because I was like, okay, they have the edge here.
Yeah.
Because Cora and Regina don't know that they're gonna go out and find it, and then
but she's not smart enough
she's
to
not
use
smart
that
enough
edge.
to use it to her advantage.
Yeah.
I was like, you finally have the edge. You can get it. They don't have to know that you're even looking for it. You don't have to give them a heads up.
Cora and Regina pretty much had like, yeah, it was
I was kind of
wasn't
mad when
needed,
she.
yeah.
awfully thought out plan
Yeah.
when it comes
Like,
down to
okay,
it.
let's keep a secret. They keep secrets from you. You keep a secret from them. Get the dagger, hide it somewhere else, or give it to Rumple, throw it in a lake. I don't really know what you do with that thing to make sure no one finds it, but get rid of it.
Can you destroy the dagger?
I don't think you
I don't
can.
think so,
Okay.
because that's the source of all.
Maybe they should they should have thrown it down the well to Lake Nostos
Nostos?
to
Oh.
send it back into like fairy tale worlds or something.
Or send it back to where it came from.
Yeah.
Or they should have just hidden it somewhere.
Underneath their pillow at night.
So Snow ends up trying to talk Regina out of being a bad person, which completely backfires. Regina says that awful line about, well, what would you know about mothers? When Snow says that
Snap.
her mother is only using her and is on a power trip. So
Which is kind of true, actually.
I still feel like Regina fell so easily into Cora's trap. Like I really thought that she wouldn't do that. And she did.
And she did.
And she did. But Regina was in a vulnerable spot. She was by herself, alone. I can understand why she would quickly run to Cora's side.
It's like you go back to your mom always.
Yeah.
But she did bring up some good points in her conversation with Mary Margaret as well. She said, you know, maybe she is the good one. You know, she was always the queen and that Snow put the evil there. And it makes you think about it. You know, they always say that we only hear the victor side of the stories. And when she said that line, it made me think of Wicked, the book and the musical.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like we always hear Dorothy's side of the story. And then when you read Wicked, it's the Wicked
Such a
Witches.
good plan.
Yeah, it's,
So
you know,
good.
her side of the story. And you see that, you know, she wasn't quite wicked after all. She had good intentions that went awry. And, you know, she had a tough life. And now I watch The Wizard of Oz and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for her.
That would be so cool if they had a Wizard of Oz episode.
Ooh,
Wow.
nice. Now's the time to do it, especially with the
Yeah.
new movie coming out.
Yeah. That would be cool.
But that, like, seeing the other side makes us feel
Wait,
more for Regina.
Haven't they alluded to that in a couple
Yes,
things?
they have.
They have. I was gonna say they've alluded
In
to
like season 1, the doors, one of the doors was like a Oz
Yeah.
thing.
It'll happen one day.
Season 14.
I had a thought, but I'll save it.
Okay. So Snow and David enlist Mother Superior's help to find the dagger, and she can't find it in Rumpel's shop because her magic does not work. There must be some protection spell. And it was really weird how, like, she was using her wand and then her wand, like, got too hot for her to hold or something.
Like hot potato, drop it.
I thought someone was gonna, like, swoop in. I thought that's when Cora was gonna swoop in and, like, steal her wand so she wasn't able to use magic either.
Yeah, that would have been a good spot.
Yeah. They had other plans. So they end up finding the dagger in the clock tower. While they're there, right after they get the dagger, Regina and Cora appear from a purple cloud of smoke. Yeah.
Of course.
I will give them this. They showed up in style, like in unison, how they both just appear in that purple smoke. And then their exit too with like that one liner and then boom, smoke comes up and they disappear.
They kind of remind me of mean cheerleaders. Yeah. They're like in sync.
They're just right there.
I was like, you know what? Round of applause, baby. Like, that was
good.
I was like, I'm really mad at you right now, but you looked good while you did it. So
give you credit.
Yeah,
It was good entrance. I gotta mention their the time on the clock. It looked like 12:10, 12:15.
Okay.
Just numbers.
Why can't Cora take the dagger from Snow's hand?
I was thinking the
She
same
has
thing.
to drop it.
She flicked out a gun from David's hand.
But she can't.
But she can't just use her magic to whip it out of her hand. Maybe she wanted. You know why? This is why. She wanted Snow to surrender it because she was talking to her. You know, you're just gonna do what your mother taught you. You're gonna do the right thing, and you know she was getting in her head because I mean, like she said in after her mom died. I'm going to make her heart black. I'm going to make her, you know, this evil person. So she had to get her to surrender that dagger willingly instead of taking it from her.
Yeah.
I agreed.
So their collateral is Johanna, and Regina. She looks conflicted at points in this scene, right?
Yeah,
She looks like she had to do it just to satisfy her mother.
She's constantly wanting validation from someone, and right now it's only from Cora, which is unfortunate. But I feel like she was really conflicted during this entire scene. You could tell, especially when Cora started to go into detail about how she, you know, killed Snow's mother and created this entire plot to, you know, destroy their legacy and whatnot. It looked like Regina had second thoughts about doing all of this, yet she still went through with it and, you know, took out Johanna's heart and then shoved her out a window.
Yeah, she definitely looked conflicted. And I loved how Cora said, almost in a, well, duh, this is why I did it, when Snow asked her, why did you do all this? To make my daughter the queen. Duh.
So nonchalant.
Yeah, just like,
so heartless.
I mean, duh, like what other reason did I have to do this? And I thought at that point that Regina would remember how her mother took Daniel away from her and see how this isn't Snow's fault. Like this all comes down to your mom being the root back to when she killed, if she hadn't killed Snow's mom, Snow wouldn't have ratted you out about your love affair with Daniel. And there's just this whole line of things that would not have happened if Cora hadn't killed Snow's mom. And I thought maybe Regina would think about it again. And
I think she is going to think about this for a while now. It was just so in the moment that she didn't really stray from the plan. But I think that she will think about this, and I don't think she will stay as loyal to her mother after a while.
I don't think so either, especially when Regina was figuring out that Cora was behind, you know, scaring the
Everything.
horse, you know, that had little Snow on it. And like just planned it from the beginning. So I think Regina's realizing everything's planned out. She really doesn't have a say in this whole game.
Little Snow should have used that candle on Cora.
yes.
Had she known it was
Didn't you say she should have used it on Rumpel?
I said she should have used it on Rumpel too, and then we wouldn't have had this whole mess. Vince, no show.
so much easier.
I mean, not that you want to kill your own father, but if she'd done it on her dad, then her dad wouldn't have had Regina to remarry.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad, though.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I know, but someone had to say it.
Yeah. Even if it's wrong.
It's wrong.
So we all knew the second that Snow handed over the dagger that they were going to throw or, kill Johanna. It happens every single time. Every single time there is someone who, is collateral, they're going to die. And Snow, you should have known this. Very
Regardless.
stupid.
Johanna said let her go. She said, don't give... Well, that's another thing. They always say, don't listen to them. Let them kill me. And the other person always ends up surrendering. But I'm just like, Johanna was willing to die for this because they're just going to take the dagger from you and kill her anyway.
I mean, even if they didn't kill her then, their plan is to kill everyone in Storybrooke. Like... Do you not see a problem with this? If they're not killing one person now, they're gonna kill 1 million people or, a couple hundred people soon.
Exactly. So,
wow.
I mean, live and learn, right?
Yes.
One day she'll do the learning part.
Yeah.
Right now she's living.
It was cool to see at the very end of the episode the whole stable scene and little Snow's horse taking off, all of that come to fruition. I feel like we already kind of knew how that whole storyline played out, but it was cool to see it enacted.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So no Johanna anymore. Johanna. How do you pronounce it? Martin in back thinks that's funny. But I do want to talk about New York City. There's a lot that went on there. Henry seems very welcoming to Neal all of a sudden. I mean, last episode we saw him, jumping out a window to get away from his dad, and now he's, buddy.
But I think he's happy. His family's finally getting back together. They're finding each other. He never really had that stable household. Yeah, I mean, he had Regina, but he didn't have a father figure. He didn't have any siblings or.
He thought his dad was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So I think he's just welcoming everyone that could potentially have affection and love for
and
a
at
family.
this point, Neal's the only person in New York who hasn't lied to Henry. So
Well, his
true.
pizza didn't lie to him either.
yeah. His pizza doesn't lie.
Yeah. That was such a funny line. Pizza's delicious and cheesy, and it doesn't lie. Mom.
Yeah. That was a zing.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, burn.
So Emma and Neal have a moment, and she suggests to him, if you want to spend more time with your son, your newfound son, then why don't you come back to Storybrooke with us? Then you can sort everything out with your dad too. It can be a whole family reunion. And she's like, you don't really have a lot going on in New York.
I saw your apartment.
Yeah, but looks can be deceiving. And Neal has a fiance.
Tamara.
Tamara.
That was it. Dang it.
Johanna.
Martin, I hear you laughing. I don't appreciate it.
Potato,
Yeah. Tamara, I don't like her. Hope she's gone soon too. But it doesn't look like she will be because that is his fiance. I was worried though that he actually had like a whole slew of kids or something, and that was just like his bachelor pad.
Have you seen his apartment screams single. I was like, I don't think he has kids.
Yeah.
I just thought that he was, because there's a lot of points within their New York episode where, there were signs as to who Neal/Bay could also be from a fairy tale world. And so I thought he was trying to come clean about maybe another realm he went to before coming here, and maybe
Peter Pan.
some other things going on. It's not confirmed, but
It's so obvious.
It is obvious.
I mean, if anyone thinks that it's other than Peter Pan, I mean, I feel like we've discussed this even before Hook was around.
Yes.
And I mean, it from what the pieces of the puzzle are adding up to be. Bay spent a lot of time in Neverland. That is where he met Hook. And we don't know whether he and Hook are friends or, I mean, according to Peter Pan, they're enemies, but it seems like they kind of have a common enemy, and that is the crocodile, or Rumpelstiltskin. And then he somehow made his way to New York.
Which also, sorry, this also kind of makes sense, Crocodile, why Rumple would hide the dagger at the clock.
Oh, TikTok.
TikTok.
Hook wouldn't get to it.
Yeah.
Oh, because he's scared of the clock.
Yeah.
Because of.
TikTok.
Oh, wow. Sorry, it's all coming together in my head right now.
Yeah, it literally all
We
makes
just
sense
finished
now.
like a 3,000 piece jigsaw puzzle.
And then we found pieces on the floor and we realized,
Oh,
they have
there's
to go
more to this
somewhere. There's
puzzle.
more. It's not over yet.
Yeah. So not happy that Neal has a fiance. What was that girl? The Indian girl from
Tiger Lily.
Tiger
That's
Lily.
what I said.
Tamara Lily.
That's what I said. All right.
Probably
Yeah.
not, but I mean, it seems kind of weird. Like maybe he brought someone else over from Neverland.
Yeah, I want to know if she's
Tiger
gonna.
Lily's in love with Peter Pan. That makes sense.
So is Wendy Darling.
Is Emma Wendy?
I don't know.
No, probably not.
Because, I mean, in the movie Hook, Peter Pan ends up falling for Mora, who's Wendy's daughter. So
Yeah.
Emma doesn't have a daughter, but she's got a son. That would be weird.
But
Yeah.
that's his son.
Yeah,
So
that's not going to work.
that doesn't work out.
Yeah, that
Next.
doesn't work.
So Hook ends up stabbing Rumple, which was really unexpected for me. I mean, he just kind of like jumped in there, which I guess he took his pirate ship over to New York. It's hidden, obviously, because a pirate ship in New York, there'd be a lot of
Just a little.
stories in the Post about that. And he ends up stabbing him not just with his hook, but with a poison. And the only way for Rumple to survive is if they take this pirate ship back to Storybrook, where there is magic that can cure him. He's on his deathbed, it looks like, and he says, "Henry, this is all your fault. If you had never found your mom, then none of this would have happened. Yet that's what you wanted him to do. You're the one that created the curse so that you could find your son, and the seer told you that this little boy would be your demise, but he's also the one that helps you find your son." Double-edged sword.
And he's
really
your
is.
grandson.
Dagger.
Right.
What?
And he's your grandson.
He is.
So you can't just kill him like you said you would to the seer.
He seems like he would, though. Rumple's
He was
an
very
evil
upset.
dude.
I think he was mostly upset because if they had just left from getting their pizza and gone straight to the museum, then
None of this would have happened.
then Hook wouldn't have been able to come in and get them. But he was like, "You brought us back here because he wanted his camera."
Yeah.
So it's always life's little things can change.
You can't
everything.
blame him for that, though.
Nope.
But that, like, Rumple yelling at Henry was literally out of nowhere. We know that Henry could be his undoing, but how they just threw that quickly into, the moment where Rumple's kind of dying,
Yeah.
I thought that was...
So, random question. How do you think Neal is going to explain Emma and having a son to Tamara?
I got you messing it up now.
Tamara.
That'll be an interesting story.
But-
If she's not Tiger Lily,
Yes.
he is going to have a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if Tamara is Tiger Lily, she'd be more accepting. I think she would understand.
I mean, probably
the
not about the
storyline.
sun thing, but
No.
about the
But
magic
just
world.
magic,
Yeah.
how they're all
Magic world.
intertwined. I think she'd be more receptive to.
I feel like if you're gonna marry someone, if they're a civilian in New York, how do you not tell them, like, I'm 400 years old and my father is Rumpelstiltskin? Like,
Well, before he got that postcard saying that the curse was broken, he probably never thought he'd have to explain it. But that makes me think because he wanted to know when he could go back for Emma. So if you had in your mind back then that, like, you want this woman, what changed now that you have the fiance?
it's just
like,
time.
I mean, you moved on, but you also know that you still have a spot in your heart for this person over
Yeah.
here too. So
I think this girl has got to be
she's
something.
but maybe he doesn't even know if she's like a magical
You have
person.
to.
But another question: if
He didn't know that Emma was.
if Neal went to Storybrooke for a couple hundreds of years, and the curse in Storybrooke
You
was
mean Neverland?
Yeah, Neverland, sorry. And the curse in Storybrooke was only for 28 years, how would that match up in the time?
He wasn't affected by the curse.
No.
Because he was in,
He was in Neverland.
He was in
because he
Neverland,
was hanging
but
on-
for a couple hundreds of years.
because time,
Yeah, time
'cause-
is stopped in Neverland, and then
but it's still
he-
going in the other realm.
Yeah, so
So
it's still going in
confusing.
the other realms, and then he went to New York at some point, met Emma, and then time started again for him. So
Okay.
what he would have been around like mid-20s or something when he went to.
Yeah. I think one of the theories I've read online
Or
is just
probably
that
younger.
he was
He
Peter
would've-
Pan, and maybe when the curse hit Storybrooke, maybe Peter was like on this side of the portal between Neverland and here in real world, and that he couldn't get back to Neverland because of the curse blocking him out, and that's when he started to age.
That would make sense. Yeah.
mean he was around, what was he, like 13 or 14 when
Yeah,
he got
'cause he
separated
was-
from his dad, and then
He went to Neverland before the curse got enacted.
Yeah.
that's one of the theories
Yeah.
I'm hearing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then he just started aging once he got to New York or wherever he landed. So I hope this fiance thing doesn't work out, but maybe she can like be like, hey, well, I've been flirting with other guys since you've been gone, so other guys want me.
You're not the only one who wants me, Neal. I got other
Exactly.
prospects.
Exactly. It is a very messed up family situation, though.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And they mentioned the crazy family tree.
Did you guys see it online?
No.
Oh, I forgot.
no.
I forget what I was looking at, but someone had like a picture on Twitter, and it had the family tree
Really?
out for you, like starting from Henry down here, and then it branched upwards to show the. I'll find it. I'll send it to you, and maybe we can get it up here. Like,
Yeah.
next
Tweet
week
it
or
out.
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
tweet it out, and then we'll get it on our show next week. So I want to hear all about PaleyFest. Go.
Yay!
Go.
So awesome.
Yeah, let's just start with the cast of this show is just amazing. They're funny. They're
And they look
relaxed.
exactly what you think
They're
they
all
look like.
so attractive.
They're
Yeah,
all
like-
attractive.
They
were
all
just,
look like what they're supposed to look
Yeah,
like.
and they're just out there having a
was
good time, just with their little jokes and everything. And they were very, you could tell, still just humbled by the fan response, because I was talking to some people, and I guess last year, it wasn't a very full panel. It was their first season, and they were just saying from last year to this year, this place was completely sold out, and it was amazing to look
I mean,
at.
this is like a water cooler show. Like
Yeah.
everyone is talking about it.
Exactly. So some of the spoilers and whatnot from the festival, they started talking about some Hook action and what we might see from him in Storybrooke, possible love interests or whatnot. Eddie, one of the creators, said he wouldn't mind seeing a love triangle between Neal, Emma, and Hook. It would be interesting to see Mary Margaret and David's reaction to this, and also the fact that Hook was a love interest for Mila, who's Henry's grandma at this point. But then he's also like has an attraction to Emma, and he even flirted with Snow a little bit there too. So it's just
This is putting Days of Our Lives to shame.
It really
To
is.
shame.
so I thought that was kind of cool when they broke that down. They talked about an upcoming episode, Welcome to Storybrooke. Told us basically what we're going to see in this episode. It's based in 19...
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. This
Yes.
is definitely a spoiler.
Don't
Spoiler
don't
alert.
listen.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
It's going to be set in 1983 when they all first get to Storybrooke from the curse. It's the first week of the curse, so you'll see them trying to react, or Regina trying to sort through like her victory and trying to adapt to this world with clothing and all that kind of stuff. Sheriff Graham will be back in this episode.
Yes.
So we will see him. And also we talked about him a lot tonight. Billy the mechanic, Gus.
Gus.
Oh, he'll be back too.
Yeah,
We will
Gus
see
will
Gus
be back.
in this episode. I wasn't sure if this part was part of this episode or another one, but they did say that, Pinocchio did kind of disappear as a wooden boy. So we will this season find out what happened to Pinocchio. I didn't catch if that was happening in Welcome to Storybrooke or another episode.
He is wandering around.
He is wandering around somewhere. So we haven't forgot about him. There's a lot of rumors going around right now about ABC doing a spin-off show with the Mad Hatter and that they were going to recast Sebastian Stan's role because he's too busy
Blasphemy.
to do it. That's like the internet rumors. Will they?
I don't think that could work. That's, I mean,
Well, Adam and Eddie straight up shut that down. They're
Good.
like, look,
Yeah.
we are Sebastian Stan's biggest fans. We love him. We would never recast him. He's too busy to be on our show right now, so we honestly don't know when we'll be seeing the Mad Hatter again, but we do not plan to recast anyone ever. So I was very
that
excited
role,
to hear
yeah.
that because there's a lot of rumors about this new show
Yeah.
and being recast. I was like, you can't do that. That just doesn't make sense. What else did we hear about? Oh, the episode Lacey is going to be a very heavy Belle episode, and they just said that we'll see a new side to Belle. It was kind of like when David.
They said the complete opposite of what Belle is.
They called her Racy Lacey.
Maybe her with Gaston before.
Maybe
Before he was turned into a rose.
before that.
I mean, like, if you think back to Beauty and the Beast was one of my favorite Disney movies growing up. And there
too.
were those, fun fact, it was the first Disney movie to show cleavage, actually.
Oh.
in
I believe it.
girls.
Those three blonde
yeah,
girls.
those three blonde
Yeah.
girls. So maybe Belle was like a three blonde
floozy.
girl, wanted to, get away from her books for a little bit and show some
Kinda crazy.
boobage.
Yeah, well, they said that it was kind of reminiscent of when David woke up from his coma and didn't know who he was, and then all of a sudden his Storybrooke character shined through. All of a sudden he remembered that whole thing. They said that's what this will kind of be like for Belle. So that'll be interesting. They also teased that we will visit a new realm in this season. We will
Have
be
we been in
introduced
Neverland
to.
yet?
No.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what
Just
we're
gonna call it
thinking
right
too.
now.
We know
That's
what
what
it
we're
is.
thinking too. And then for everyone who was wondering what the cast was tweeting about with the bowl of soup, I suggest you go watch the live stream of the whole panel because Robert Carlyle tells the story of what happened with the bowl of soup and
origin of the story.
of the
Can you give
story.
us a Spark Notes version real quick?
There is no spark notes to it. It's kind of a long story.
Yeah. It has to do with one of his friends and someone yelling at him like he was the soup Nazi or something.
Huh.
I mean, it's funny. Watch it. Robert did not want to tell the story. He
No, he
told
didn't.
the moderator beforehand that he was not going to tell the
Yeah.
story.
And
but
if you guys-
we all kind of begged him.
If you don't know what's going on, a lot of the cast was tweeting out that, what was it?
It's like, you are a bowl of soup.
Yeah.
They were just calling each other a bowl of soup, and it became this whole thing where everyone wanted to know what it was, but no one was
Thought
saying.
it had something to do with the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess the biggest
Biggest spoiler.
Big
Big spoiler.
Okay.
spoiler. The finale.
Finale. Two episodes.
Two-part finale. Part 1 titled Second Star to the Right.
Can you say the second one? And the second one, Straight On Till Morning.
Which is a huge Peter Pan reference right
Huge.
there.
Yeah.
So that will be episodes
Jiminy
21 and
Cricket.
22.
Going to Neverland.
And I think that's about everything.
Crazy.
But
Oh my
honestly,
goodness.
guys,
he
if
knows
you-
Archie. Neal knows Archie. Archie Hopper, right? Jiminy Cricket,
He's not in Peter Pan.
wasn't he?
Jiminy Cricket?
Jiminy Cricket's
That's
in
Pinocchio.
Oh, Pinocchio.
Like, what is
Crossing
happening right
storylines.
now? What's going on?
You're
Sorry.
close.
But I would honestly suggest for everyone to go online because I'm not sure if the video's up tonight or I know they said it'll be on video demand tomorrow. Watch this whole Q&A and it's just great. I can't even
Yeah.
explain
It
how
was
awesome it was. Like the little
awesome.
bits that they shared. They talked about how Snow's character, like we're going to see a difference in her because after this week, she wants to kill Cora. I mean, she's in a dark place right now. And so they
Which
talk
is-
about that and
yeah.
just a lot of little things that you can pick up on, a lot of character development and how they write their seasons and everything. It was a great thing to be a part of and to listen to.
And to see them, yes, they were very humble and just like embracing all the fans, and they were so nice and so like you can see the chemistry between all of them. Like they all genuinely enjoy each other's presence. And Lana Parrilla is more cooler than I thought.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing.
She's freaking awesome.
I mean, I always liked her, but
I know.
What'd she do?
Her personality, she's
Funny?
like very down to earth and just like.
And you guys met one of the writers, didn't you?
Yes. Yes, we did. I met Jane Espenson, big producer and writer for Once Upon a Time, but I knew her from Buffy. That's where
You're a
I
huge
knew,
Buffy fan.
Yes, Buffy is my ultimate favorite show. So
Buffy buff.
I kind of had like a little geek moment with her, like big fan, and she got her autograph, and she seemed so nice.
Yeah, she was
awesome.
really nice. She was really cool. She was just awesome.
Yeah.
And the cast stuck around for like 30 or 40 minutes. They were just on the stage trying to sign items for
Anything and
everyone.
everything.
Unfortunately, they did have to get back to Canada because they have a 5 a.m. call time tomorrow to shoot.
Alright,
So a lot of
my
them had to rush out of there.
How long did the entire event last? It started at 1 p.m., right?
Started at 1. We
4?
watched the episode, and then the little screener for next week, so that was probably like 50 minutes.
No commercials. That was
hour.
nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
A girl can get spoiled watching
probably
TV like that.
probably about 2 hours,
2.5 maybe.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. It was really good.
It was enough and long enough to get a lot of good juice.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll be invited back next year. And if
sure
you
they
weren't
will
there
be.
this year, definitely go check it out, guys. It changed my life forever.
And so where
Yeah.
can people see this whole thing?
I believe PaleyFest.
PaleyFest.com or
Okay.
yeah.
Well, bing it.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure it'll be on YouTube as well. And Hulu Plus also. Hulu Plus was a big sponsor for all of the PaleyFest too. And I know the interviews, one-on-one questions will be available on Hulu tomorrow.
Perfect. Okay. Well, that concludes our special segment then. Let's move on to news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
That was about all my gossip for this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jennifer Goodwin was at the Oscar after party, I think, and she looked awesome.
She looked awesome.
Yeah. She had a blue dress on, I think.
Yeah.
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 There's your news and
There's
gossip.
your gossip. We just combined it with
Yeah.
the PaleyFest.
Yes. So predictions. I know you guys can't make too many predictions.
Now, your
I think we said
AfterBuzz
most of ours
TV
already. But
Yeah.
Because we didn't get to see the
Next
preview
week.
Yeah.
for next week. We just
Someone
went straight
will
into
perish.
the episode, so I didn't hear the part about someone perishing.
Who's gonna perish?
I don't think it'll be Rumple.
no.
It would be too obvious because he is the one who's already sick, so it's kind of set up to look like he might perish.
Yeah.
But they didn't really show anyone in the clips, so it could be anyone.
Does perish by definition mean that they'll die?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, or they'll just kind of crumble
yeah.
into like pieces like a heart, like when you crush the
Yeah.
heart and the flakes fall down.
I'm just trying to think, like, was that a twist on something and they won't actually?
Perish, like expire,
Perish,
like an
perish
apple.
usually means that like there's an end to
Well,
it.
yeah.
I hope
mean,
it's Cora.
I hope it's Cora too. I doubt it will be Cora, but they said it's one of their own.
Yeah, one of their own.
So it has to be a good person. Maybe the Blue Fairy.
Ooh.
I mean, maybe one of the dwarves.
I don't think it'll be one of the
Could it be Red?
lead
I mean,
actors. I think it'll be one of the.
We saw Graham gone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's making some comebacks here and there, but it could be anyone. I mean, I don't think it'll be Snow or David. I hate to say this.
Don't say Henry.
I hate to say this.
No, can't be.
But, I mean, Rumple said that he's going to kill Henry.
That's true.
Henry dies
He's
again.
been through so much. Yeah, it's like at this point you can't fake kill Henry again, so he either has to actually be dead or
Yeah.
it's someone else. I can't think of who
Who else?
who else.
Red.
But for predictions, well, we speculated Neverland. I was telling Tiona this when we were coming back from the PaleyFest. If it is Neverland, I think they're gonna go there and get stuck again in another world. As much as that would suck, I think that would happen.
I want to see Neal steer this pirate ship next episode. If we even see it, they might just arrive in Storybrooke. But
You might see it.
I think it'd be cool. Is he gonna take his girlfriend, his fiance, back with him to Storybrooke? I mean, he's gonna go to Storybrooke. He's the only one that can sail the ship.
I don't know if she will come
It didn't
right
look
away.
like she was on the ship.
Yeah, I don't know if she'll come right away, but I know that she will. I predict that she will be around just because I remember when they were casting for her character, and it has to be more than just that 2 seconds that she was in this episode. It has to be something more. So I'm gonna predict that Emma and her have a little squabble over Neal because, like Mr. Gold said to Emma in New York, he can tell that she wants a second chance with him. I think Neal could even feel that, and that's why he kept trying to tell her about. He didn't try very hard.
I actually think that this might expedite the process for Emma and Neal getting back together, because if like your boyfriend or whoever, someone that you care about, does something awful to you, and then you realize that they have like someone else that they could potentially go to if you shun them, you're like, wait, come back.
Oh, I have one. Jennifer Goodwin at the panel said she wants to see, when Neal gets to Storybrooke, David's reaction to finding out that he's the reason that Emma went to jail. Actually, Jennifer Morrison said that. So I want to see
she
the
wants a
reaction
punch.
of Papa Charming getting all parental in
Like, you
honor
knocked
of
up my
his daughter.
baby.
Like, you knocked her up, you left her to rot in a jail. Explain yourself,
And he'll be like, it was all for you guys. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, but I want to see Papa Charming come out, because I love those moments when
They try to be
They try to be
parental.
parental for her. So that's my prediction, that we'll see a little Papa Charming.
I really don't understand why August couldn't have said, Neal, stay with her, tell her that you're Peter Pan, and tell her that she needs to go back to Storybrooke in,
Realize her.
a couple years. Duh.
Duh. I mean, why do you think it's the easy way? There's always a more
definitely not
complicated.
Then it wouldn't be Once Upon a Time
Yes.
if they went the easy way.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that concludes tonight's after show. So if anyone wants to continue the conversation, if we missed anything, if you guys have your own predictions, if you want to hear more about PaleyFest from Tiona and Marisa, then definitely make sure to tweet them. Where can they find you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at TweetT22.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Serafini TV.
And you can find me on Twitter at Cathy Kelley. You can find all of us here on Twitter at AFTERBUZZ TV. And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Until next week,
Till next week. The Miller's Daughter.
the Miller's Daughter.
Rose McGowan.
We will see you next Sunday.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.